Ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon, and welcome to this episode of Comparison Wars. I'm your host, Grayson Kellett, and today we will be comparing two streaming platform giant industry leaders, Netflix versus Hulu. Before we get to the throwdown, we're going to go to the analyst booth and we're going to analyze these two industry leaders. Now let's begin our conversation with Netflix. Netflix was founded in 1997 as a DVD rental service. And in 2007, it switched over to an entertainment-based streaming platform. Netflix is an international business. Its consumer base is mainly Gen Zers and millennials between the ages of 18 and 34 years old. There's not much difference in variance in gender as it's mainly 50-50 between male and female. And there is a large dispersion in income distribution among its users, mainly between the ranges of $25,000 to $50,000 a year, but because of its diversity, as we'll talk about in a minute, Netflix has plans for every single person of every single income. Now let's talk about what Netflix is known for. Netflix is known as an industry disruptor all across the world. This is because as of recently, Netflix has started running its own original movies and TV shows. See, Netflix just doesn't take stuff that's already on the air and then put it on its platform. Netflix has shows that are Netflix originals, such as Stranger Things, Squid Games, and Bridgerton as of late. This allows for viewers to see Netflix as its own entity, separate from everything else. It doesn't just stream what's already been on Comcast, DirecTV, Dish, etc. Netflix is its own thing. We've mentioned that Netflix is an international business. However, their headquarters is in Los Gatos, California. But now let's talk money, because everyone loves to talk about that green. First and foremost, Netflix last year in 2024 did $38 billion with a B dollars. And they expect a 15% increase in revenue this business year at a whopping $45 billion. That blows my mind. But let's understand why Netflix expects such growth. To me, it sounds off the paper. Netflix has been in business for 25 years. How could it grow that much? But it's simple. They are valuing convenience this year. They're valuing their customers. Their customers want convenience, and they're giving them this through offering more diversified plans for their individual needs. We've talked Netflix, now let's talk Hulu. Yes, Hulu is a US-based business, therefore it is much smaller, and we'll get into how much more smaller. But we must note that Hulu was founded as an entertainment streaming service in 2007, but it is now owned by Disney exclusively. Hulu's customer base is still similar to Netflix's as it mainly focuses on Gen Zers and millennials between the ages of 18 and 39 years old. But now, as we've said, Hulu is a US-based business, therefore their target base is US consumers solely, not international consumers as Netflix's is. So if a customer is conscious about buying US-only products, they're going to go with Hulu. Ironically, Hulu's headquarters is very close to Netflix's. It is located in a 125,000 square foot building in Santa Monica, California. And yes, in 2024, they did a huge year in revenue, boasting $12 billion. And they expect to grow 15 to 20%, similar to Netflix, in 2025. And I was wondering myself, how could they also grow that much and they've been open that long? Well, it's very simple. They are also putting their customers first, just as Netflix, but they're doing it in a different way. They are putting the family aspect of their customers first. They know that families want to cut the cords to the cable, such as Dish, Comcast, DirecTV, etc. All these companies that are charging wazoos of money for 600, 500, 400 channels that you're only using 30 of. And they're offering packages of channels that you will only use, such as things like ESPN or Disney or whatnot. And you can combine these and put them on your own personalized package for your family. And that is what they are doing to save people money, time, and energy on their part. So I've talked your ear off. We've gone over Netflix and Hulu. We've talked about how much money they make, where they're located, what their target audience is. But let's go talk to some real people out there in the world that choose between Hulu and Netflix. We're going to figure out why they do it and if they'll continue to do it. And just like that, folks, it's time to interview our first interviewee. I'm here today with Miss Emma Plummer, and she knows the rules. She's seen the show. We're going to ask her the question. Ma'am, Hulu or Netflix?
Netflix.
Could you tell us why Netflix over Hulu?
Because I'm in college and I have a student account and it's free.
Could you tell us about how much a month that costs you?
$0.
$0. Can you believe that? Free. Do you have to watch ads?
Yes.
Does that bother you at all?
No, they're like 30-second ads.
Quick, convenient ads. Another great reason. Okay, ma'am, we've talked about the Netflix original shows. Have you watched any or are you watching any?
Yes, I have watched some.
What do you think about
I think they're great.
them? She thinks they're great. So you would say that they're up to par with the cable channels.
Yes.
Another great reason. Would you say that you necessarily trust Netflix to continue to give you good content?
Yes,
Why is that?
because they have before.
Ma'am, we've asked you about their original TV shows, and I'm sure you've watched many others on Netflix. Because your account's free, I'm sure you've had it a long time. Do you have any emotional ties to Netflix from a particular show?
The first show that I watched on Netflix was Friends, and ever since I finished that show, I've always watched Netflix.
So you do have an emotional tie to it. Are you
Yes.
able to relate with people like your peers or your family because of that show?
Yes.
And then it brings you back to memories of Netflix.
Yes.
So we've heard why Miss Plummer chooses Netflix over Hulu. So the score now on Comparison Wars is Netflix 1, Hulu 0. Stay tuned for our next interviewee to see if Netflix goes up 2-0 or if Hulu comes back and evens up the score 1-1. Welcome back, folks, to this episode of Comparison Wars. Our second interviewee is Miss Cassie. Miss Cassie, we've been over the rules. You know the question. Netflix or Hulu?
Netflix.
Why?
Several reasons. Number one, I like Netflix because my friends and I talk about it at work. We've got 3, maybe 4 shows that we all watch every day. I record mine since I work a lot during the day. I record mine, watch them at night, and then we talk about them during the day. I do not think that the cost is an issue for me. I do know that it costs more than others, but that doesn't matter because I don't use many platforms. And so I do like Netflix better than some. I don't even know what all of the other ones are, but I do know that I do prefer Netflix the best. There also was a lot of drama, political drama with Netflix this year, but that did not affect me using it or not because I just tried to still steer clear of that.
Well, folks, she's given us 3 good reasons of why she likes Netflix over Hulu. We're going to send it back to our third interviewee. The score is now Netflix 2, Hulu 0. It's not looking good for Hulu, but we'll see what this last interviewee says. Welcome back, folks, to this episode of Comparison Wars. We're here with our last interviewee, TV star, Mr. Peak. Mr. Peak, we've been over the rules. You know the question. What is your answer? Netflix versus Hulu?
Hulu.
Why?
Well, for first, let's go with price. It's more price friendly for families. It's more economically better for the overall budget, I would say, for the monthly purchase. And also, it comes in with the better reruns for old shows, for us old heads that like to go back and watch stuff over and over again. And also, they have current shows on there that you can catch up on that are currently on live TV.
Would you say that Hulu being an U.S.-based company, whereas Netflix is an internationally based company, has any impact on your purchasing decision?
Just somewhat. Netflix are a little bit more politically based than Hulu is. So I kind of favor Hulu on that.
So you talked about Hulu being family oriented. Do you use the parental controls that Hulu offers for your personal account for your family?
Yes, it helps us control what certain ages in the house watch. You know, more friendly episodes, friendly shows for the little ones in the house.
Well, folks, that was our third and final interview. That makes the score Netflix 2, Hulu 1. I'm no rocket scientist, but 2 is greater than 1. They've given you great insight as to why they chose their choice. Now, we're going to go to the analyst booth, and I'm going to give you my final analysis. We've interviewed 3 outstanding consumers, and you've heard what their input is. Now I'm going to give you mine. I believe that this trend will continue in the industry. These 2 companies will continue to take money away from the cable companies such as Dish, Comcast, DirecTV, etc. Why? Because they are valuing their customers. They're asking their customers, what do you want? What do you want out of your TV service? That's what we want to be for you. And they're doing a great job of it. Netflix, for example, they're offering so many original things that are new and spontaneous and interactive. And then Hulu, for example, they're offering individualized family plans that give something for everyone in the family with parental controls. You can't beat that. You simply can't beat convenience, cost saving, effectiveness when we're so used to always having to call out the cable man to fix something. Well, now we've got the solution. It is right there in these digital streaming services, and man, they're going to continue to excel and bring in more revenue, and man, they're going to make our lives better.